been passed in the Senate. It's sitting here in front of me tonight. Could we have order, Mr. President?
Order in the Senate.
It amazes me we're willing to take lightly. This is the bill we're getting ready to vote on. Probably the biggest spending bill that's ever been passed in the Senate. It was received yesterday. Normally it's the courtesy in the Senate that the bills that we're debating are placed on every senator's desk so that we can at least have the pretense that we've looked at it. But you'll notice that this bill is not on any desk in the chamber because there's not one single senator here tonight that can say that they have read this bill.
Would the Senator yield for question?
No, sir, I'm going to make my statement. Thank you. I know we're all tired and ready to go home, and I do appreciate my colleagues, and I wish them all a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful time with their family. But this is the last bill of the year, and it's not just any bill. We began the year, I think all of us, very hopeful. Oftentimes a change is helpful as we rethink how we do things. In fact, I began this year introducing one of the new Speaker Pelosi's bill that provided more transparency to earmarks, that I thought her bill was better than ours, and I introduced it here on the Senate side. But unfortunately, as we've gone through the year, we really haven't been able to get our work done. We like to say that we're the world's greatest deliberative body. But I have to ask my colleagues tonight on the largest bill that we've ever considered, the most expensive bill we've ever considered. What deliberation? We don't even know what's in this bill. We haven't had any real debate. We're going to try to cut it off at an hour or so. This is a couple of times bigger than the Bible. It's bigger than Webster's Dictionary. It's got some of the most important provisions to direct our country over the next year that we could possibly consider. And we don't even have a desk copy. I'd like to make a few things clear about this bill, because this does not include the Iraq and Afghanistan money. We voted on that separately. It's done. It's going to go back to the House. A vote against this bill is not a vote against our troops, but it is a vote against how this has been done and the mismanagement that has occurred. To bring this much spending and this many provisions, 3,400 pages plus, in 24 hours, and ask us to vote on it is irresponsible. There should be no confusion tonight. We're not going to be voting here on the Iraq funding, which we've passed, and I am here to encourage my colleagues to consider, for many, many reasons, voting against this omnibus spending bill. I'm afraid it's indicative of the way we've run this year as we look at this big bill sitting in front of us. I'm afraid the new majority has attempted to cater to so many special interests with so many diverse interests that we've really become dysfunctional and have not been able to get our work done. You know, they can't really support the funding of the troops, or they will irritate the anti-war left. And they can't vote for fiscal responsibility, or they'll irritate the special interest lobbyists who need a lot of the special projects and earmarks in this bill. So instead, we've come up with this arcane procedural process. You know, this is not really a bill. It's some form of message. And we're going to pass it separately so that we can have it both ways and no one can be blamed for the mismanagement. But there should be no mistake. Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House, and Harry Reid is the Senate Majority Leader. The Democrats are in charge of Congress. This is their process. It is their bill. And I'm afraid, my colleagues, it is a disgrace. This is a bill. As I've said, it might be the largest bill in the nation's history. It's the most expensive bill in America's history. 3,400 pages plus, 24 hours to consider its contents. It took over 6 hours just to print this out. There's one copy in the cloakroom on both sides. We haven't even read it. It contains over 9,000 earmarks. If we can see this chart, Mr. President, over this large stack of legislation, 9,100 earmarks plus the 2,100 that have already been passed. If you remember, a lot of the culture of corruption that we talked about at the beginning of this year was attributed to the earmarks, trading earmarks for bribes and earmarks for campaign contributions. And the new majority promised the American people, with my support, that we would reduce